Hey guys, welcome. Yin and Yang again. Hour with Casey Newman as our demonstrator. So we'll get started. We're going to start off very similar to how she is. If you need to sit on the heels, be my guest. But if you can, open the feet wider than your hips and sit in between them for Virasana or the hero pose. Be my guest. The calves can kind of roll out of the way. If the sit bones don't touch the ground, either close the feet enough that you do sit on the heels or sit up on a prop. Rest your hands in your lap on your thighs, but lift through the spine. Feel the energy press out the crown of your head. Close your eyes. I'm just kind of throwing you to the wolves in the sense that this pose tends to be a little bit more difficult. It's not physically speaking, but discomfort-wise, especially within the knees. So on that note, if you feel any sharp pains or if something is going to pop, tear, or pull, place a pillow in between the calves and the hamstrings to lessen the flexion within your knees. If not, that discomfort you feel is actually one of the best things for your knees. It'll help flush out old scar tissue and cartilage. And within this discomfort, it's very important to really depend and fall onto your breath. So just breathing, softening the jaw, unfurrowing the eyebrows. And then we'll take a nice long exhale. And then take a deep inhale, send that breath all the way down to the hook of your tailbone. See if you can lift through the spine as the inhale keeps lifting into the chest. Hold. Open up the mouth and audibly let it go. Take another long, slow, deep inhale through the nose. Again, holding at the very top. Unless you're pregnant, you always want to keep breathing. Then open up the mouth and just sigh it out. One more deep inhale through the nose. 2 hold. Keeping the lips sealed, go ahead and just slowly exhale out the nose. And then just continue to breathe in and out your nose as slowly and as deeply as you can. Find that Samavriti or balanced breath where every inhale and every exhale, they match in length, duration, and quality. And if you feel like you've connected with your breath, and you're ready to move on, maintain your breath, but slowly begin to crawl your hands forward to the front of your mat, lifting through the hips. We'll tuck the toes, come into downward facing dog, pedal out the feet, allow some blood flow to surge through those knees, back into the feet. You can come up and down on your toes, pedal out the feet. Make sure the hands did land directly under the shoulders. Index and middle finger should point straight forward. Unless you're sensitive in the wrist, you have that carrier elbow, or you're super tight in your shoulders, you can turn your hands a little further out. But as you look back at your feet, let them rest hips distance apart. Make your heels spin back and just slightly out so they disappear behind your toes. Now, even if you have to bend your knees a lot, I want you to think of lifting your hip creases straight up to the sky, trying to get your sit bones to touch the ceiling. At the same time, almost think of tucking your tailbone to the wall that you're looking at, so you're not just dumping or collapsing the lower back. Knit the front ribs and sternum bone in, lengthening and accentuating the natural curves and convexes of the spine as you now keep the height of the hips, but just push the tops of your thighs straight back to help anchor your heels down. And then keeping your head and neck relaxed, let's just lift the fingertips up off the mat. So you ground down to the whole circumference of your palm. It should become like a suction cup. The inner part of your palm lifts as the outer edges root down. And then fan your fingers into the mat, root each knuckle, ending with your fingertips. Keep your hands as they are, but protract the shoulder blades. Hug them to the outer ribs as you wrap the triceps back and lift the forearms forward. And then with an inhale, let's come forward, high plank or top of a push-up. Hips level out with the shoulders. The heels drive back, thighs firm up. Unless you need to drop to the knees for modification, use them. Hips stay level with the shoulder blades. Add the slightest tuck to the tailbone. Pull the lower belly in. Wrists, elbows, shoulders stacked. You push down so much into your hands that the natural reaction is your chest and the back of your head lift up. Take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, downward dog, lift your hips up and back. Inhale, come forward, high plank. And exhale, downward dog, lift your hips. So now we're going to try and get into what is called spinal waves. So with an inhale, you're going to actually round your spine, tuck your chin into the chest as you come forward to high plank. Crown of the head will pull forward, lengthening the spine. Now don't bend your arms, but bend your knees. Think of lifting the hip creases up, chest falls towards the mat as you lift up and back, downward facing dog. So again, inhale, round the shoulders, tuck your chin into the chest as you come forward. Let the crown of the head pull the length back into the spine. Bend the knees, lift the hip creases, chest sways through, relax the head and neck. Inhale, round, think cat pose as you come forward. Bend the knees, think cow pose as you lift the hips up and back. One more. Inhale, spinal roll forward. Exhale, pull it up and back. Now inhale, come forward to high plank. Go ahead and drop to the knees. Keep your toes tucked. Lean your shoulders forward. Tuck your tailbone to the space between your knees. And then slowly bend your elbows. Let your chin, your chest touch the ground. This is called knees, chest, and chin chaturanga. And then inhale, push your arms straight. Exhale, chest and chin touch the mat. And then inhale, press it up. Now exhale, let the chin, the chest touch the mat. Release the tops of the feet. Roll your spine forward through the arms, low cobra, hips touch down. And then exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So inhale, spinal roll forward. Can you do it all at once? Lean your shoulders forward. Exhale, chin, knees, and chest touch the ground. Roll through cobra, maybe up dog. And then exhale, lift the hip creases up and back, downward dog. From downward facing dog, we'll inhale the right leg to the sky, flex to the heels, keeping the hips neutral or square to the mat. With an exhale, we'll pull that knee to the left elbow, down and across the body. Find a little twist. Inhale, lift that leg up and back. Hip is square. Exhale, pull the knee to your left arm. Inhale, extend it high. And exhale to the left. And you just keep going on your own, breath per movement, just like that. Every inhale initiates the lift up. Finish off that inhale, then use the beginning of your exhale to pull the leg towards the arm. So you're using full cycles of breath to get through this movement. And then with your next inhale, we'll kick the leg up. Exhale, pull the knee to your chest, look forward and gently step next to your right thumb. Go ahead and drop the back knee, top of the foot to the mat, and slide that leg back a little bit. Either cupping the earth with your left fingertips, as if you're protecting your favorite cupcake, or planting the palm flat on the floor. Let's just reach the right arm up to the sky. We'll take our first twist. So roll the left shoulder blade down your back, hug your left tricep back. Push into the left knee to the tips of your toes, not only down, but straight back. So really think of that outer left ankle. It has a tendency to flop out. Make sure your right knee isn't jetting away from the body. It actually stacks at the center of your ankle, and it lines up with your right hip. Lower belly pulls away from the inner right thigh. Arms expand apart. Now go ahead and bend your back knee. Heel pulls towards the bottom. Flex the heel towards the ceiling. And then without grabbing the foot for now, just reach back as if you're trying to hold on to it, but pretend. The palm stays open, the same direction as your right knee, so the front of your chest remains open. Breathe in and out your nose. And then if you can grab that foot, go ahead and hold it, pulling your heel towards the butt, getting a little deeper into the front of that left hip. But sink the hips down. It's as if that left heel and your butt were playing tag, right? Your heel is it. Your butt doesn't want to get tagged, so it sinks away from it. Breathe in and out your nose. And then slowly reach your right arm up to the sky. Release your back foot, but tuck the toes. Drive the heel back and lift your left thigh bone up. Now active releasing that quadriceps. Hug the right hip in, sink it forward and slightly down to keep that nice 90-degree angle on the front leg. As you push into the left palm and roll your left shoulder blade down the back, take your top arm up and overhead, reach for the front of the room, palm facing the mat. Tricep hugs down to the face. Notice if your right shoulder fell towards your right knee, can you lengthen those bottom ribs forward and twist them towards your inner right thigh to lean your top shoulder back. Maybe look up. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, right hand to the mat. Step your right foot back. Chaturanga, traditionally, unless you want to do the knee, chin, chest throughout your practice, be my guest. We will meet in downward dog. Let's inhale the left leg to the sky. Hip is neutral or square to the ground. Exhale, pull the knee down and over to the right. Find your twists, get into those obliques. Inhale, stretch the leg up and back. Exhale, pull the knee down and over to the right. Inhale, kicks it high. You know what's happening. Keep going on your own, breath per movement, just like we did on the other side. Remember, there's no rush. It's not about how many you can get in or how quickly you get this done. Just breathe and let your body follow along. And then with your next inhale, we'll meet with that leg up behind us. Exhale, pull the knee into the chest, look forward and gently step next to the left thumb. Drop the back knee, top of the foot down and slide that leg back a little bit. So you're either up on all 5 fingertips of your right hand or the hand is flat in a surface, the block, the ground. Reach your left arm up to the sky. So right knee to the tips of your toes, you push down and energetically straight back. Hips descend forward and down, but your front knee, make sure it stacks at the center of your ankle. The right shoulder blade, you want to wrap it down your back, hugging the tricep back, and then lengthen the right ribs forward into that. That gives the spine the space to twist. Now, without doing anything other than bending your back leg and flexing your heel towards your butt. Engaging the hamstring to release the quadriceps up the front of your hip. Now reach back with that top arm, palm stays open. Don't grab the foot yet, just pretend. Lift the tip of your left shoulder up towards the ceiling, maintaining the twist. Pull the belly away from your thigh. And then if you can reach the foot, go ahead and grab onto it and pull the heel to your butt, but sink your butt away from it. Breathe in and out the nose. Keep that right foot active, whether it's flexing or pointing through the toes. Breathe in and out your nose. And then very slowly, you'll reach the left arm up, release the back toes, they tuck. Drive the right heel back, lift the right thigh bone up. The right thigh is lifting against the weight of your pelvis, getting heavy. That left sit bone sinks forward as if you're trying to get it to touch your heel. Arms expand apart, not only by broadening your collarbone, even here you want to protract the shoulders or get them to pull to the outer ribs. Knit the front ribs in, lengthen the right side ribs forward, and then take that top arm up and overhead, palm facing the mat. So just remember that extending your top arm over your head makes this pose 50% more miserable. So you have to breathe 50% deeper. Try not to let your chest fall to the left knee. Lean your torso away from it. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Step your left foot back. Chaturanga of your choice, followed by a back bend on your inhale. And then we will all meet in downward dog as we exhale. From downward dog, let's go ahead and inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back, and exhale, fold in. Now at the same flat back, inhale, Tadasana, circle your arms up to the sky, maybe watch your palms kiss. And then exhale, pull the hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Surya Namaskar Series A. Inhale, circle the arms for the sun. Exhale, bow forward towards the earth. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, plant the hands, step, maybe jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva mukha or upward facing. Exhale, adho mukha, downward facing. Now from downward dog, let's just inhale the right leg to the sky, flex to the heel. Exhale, pull the knee to your chest, shoulders land at your wrist, look forward. Inhale, lift the leg up and back. Exhale, pull the knee to your chest. Inhale, stretch it high. And you go on your own like this for about 15, maybe 20 seconds, following your breath. And remember, if you ever need to do less or not do things, I'm not there to tell you that you should be doing them, so do less. Drop the left knee if you need it. Set the foot down if you don't want to do it. But with an inhale, we'll lift the leg up. Exhale, pull the knee to your chest. Look forward so you can step next to the right thumb. Staying on the back toes. Think cobra, up dog in your shoulders. Lengthening the spine forward, pulling the belly in. Drive through the left heel, lift through the left thigh. And then try to reach both arms straight forward. Palms face each other. Energize through those fingertips. Hug the front body in. Keep your torso where it's at. Pull your hands to heart center and gently twist. Left elbow to the outside of that right knee. Now using a little bit of leverage to take our twist maybe a little further. Left heel pushes back, left thigh bone lifts. The same action in the legs, but now you want to stack your elbows, line up the axis of those arms so you can press into the palms. If you want to fly your arms, be my guest. Left hand to the outer edge of your right foot, right arm towards the ceiling. We breathe, ideally as deeply now as you were in the very beginning of class. So keeping your twist, you'll look down and very gently step your left foot next to right twisted chair at the front of your mat. Line up the heels, not the toes. Generally, we have one foot that's bigger than the other. So once the heels line up, hug your left hip back to get the left knee to line up with the right. Sink both hip creases back and down. The lower you can get your hips, the longer your spine will get. Stack your elbows, press your palms. Maybe look up past your right shoulder. Take an inhale. And exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat, let it go. Inhale, flat back, neutralize the spine. And exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive, your arms to the sky, Tadasana. Exhale, pull the hands to heart center. Inhale, arms fall before they rise. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward dog. From downward dog, we'll lift the left leg to the sky, flex the heel. Exhale, pull the knee to your chest, shoulders land at your wrist, look forward, chest is still lifting away from the mat. Inhale, lift the leg up and back. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, stretch it high, and you go on your own, breath per movement. Remember, to do less, you can put your right knee down and do this movement from all fours. You could put your left foot down and just hang in downward dog, connecting with your breath. If you've ever been told downward dog is a resting pose, you were lied to. So it's very active. It doesn't mean you're taking a break, right? But as you're ready, we will meet with the leg lifting up. And then together, exhale, pull the knee to the chest. Look forward and step next to the left thumb. Think cobra up dog through the shoulders. You just climb to the fingertips. Lift the right thigh. Pull the lower belly in. And then try to reach your arms forward without lifting the chest a ton. It should be maybe 2 or 3 inches away from your knee. Belly pulls in away from your thigh. Those triceps wrap down. The back leg is active. Now we just pull the hands to heart center and twist or revolve right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Right heel stays pressing back, right thigh bone lifts up. That back leg is the stability. So if you need to do less, drop the knee to the mat completely, just like we did in the very beginning. Front leg has the nice 90-degree angle in it. As you stack your elbows, you press your palms. Maybe you fly your arms. But in any of these variations, you want both collarbones to broaden. You want the shoulder blades to open up. the spine to lengthen, the breath to deepen. Looking down, sideways or up. In twist, the only direction you don't want to look is forward in front of you or back towards the back of your mat. So now you're going to keep your twist, and as gently as you can, just step your right foot next to left. Line up the heels, hug the right hip back, line up the knees, make your thighs heavy, lengthen the spine forward, pull the belly tight, pressing into the palms, maybe looking up towards the ceiling, but most definitely still breathing. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, hips towards the sky, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, pull the twist out of your spine, and exhale, release. Inhale, Tadasana, reverse swan dive your arms up, maybe look up. Exhale, hands pull through heart center. Lasana, inhale, Tadasana, find the peak of the mountain. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. And exhale, Adho Mukha. Now from downward dog, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Hold this breath at the very top. Then open up the mouth. One more deep inhale through the nose to hold. This time stick out the tongue. And then just go back to breathing in and out the nose. Try not to try so hard. And then as you're ready, let's inhale the right leg to the sky. As you exhale, pull the knee high up your right arm, outer tricep or shoulder. Inhale, lift that leg up and back. Exhale, pull the knee to your right arm. Inhale, kicks it for the sky. Exhale to the right, and then just go on your own, breath per movement, evening it all out. So we've gone across the body, getting into the obliques, through the middle, tapping into the abdominals, and now we're going to the right to get into our lats. And then with an inhale, we'll lift that leg up. As you exhale, pull the knee to the chest. Look forward to step next to your right thumb. Go ahead and turn your back heel down. Lead with your left arm, warrior two. Come on up. So your front heel traditionally lines up with the center of the back arch. If you're a little tighter, you might try heel to heel alignment. It'll give you a little bit more space. Make sure your back toes forward at least 10 degrees. That means at least. They could go a little further forward. That's going to allow that left inner thigh to wrap back, to anchor your left femur bone into the pelvis. Now the right leg can open safely. Draw the inner right thigh forward. Push the knee out to the right, hugging the right hip back. Tailbone draws down, the front of your pelvis lifts. The front ribs knit in and drop slightly down. And once you feel your back ribs jump up off the kidneys, the left side ribs will revolve back in line with the right. Both hands slightly above your shoulders. You want to feel as if you're lifting your arms up, but at the same time, resist yourself pushing them down. And then karate chop them back as you open your arms further apart. Focus over your front hand, look the direction of your chest, but whatever direction your head is looking, I want you to close your eyes and go inward. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. Allow the agni, or that internal fire, to build. Marinate, fester, whatever synonym you want to use, but breathe. And then go ahead and slowly blink open your eyes and just push into your front foot to slowly straighten the leg. Reach your right arm forward, pull your right hip crease way back behind you. Exhale, right hand to your shin, top of the foot, maybe a block, left arm will go to the sky, Trikonasana. So I like to lift the toes, finding the base of the feet, but then eventually you're gonna push down into your back pinky toe, and your front big toe. Then softening the knees, you want to squeeze your inner thighs together. You want to feel the inner thighs, the quads, and the hamstrings lift up and towards the groin. Outer right hip, thigh, and calf wrap back. Right side ribs lengthen forward. Front ribs hug in as the tailbone draws in. Arms expand apart. Now you're going to take that top hand. You can keep it as it is. If you want a little bit of support, grab onto your left hip. Look 12 inches in front of your right foot. You're going to slowly bend that front knee so you can step your right hand forward, lift your back foot up, supported half moon. Use that left hand on the hip to lift the left hip and shoulder up, but flex your back foot, spin your inner left thigh down towards your right leg. That back leg is still anchored. For height, lift the inner thigh up towards the inner ankle. And then maybe reach your left arm up. Think expanding the body north, south, east, and west in every direction. Breathe in and out your nose. Take a deep inhale, maybe open up a bit more. Exhale, just your left hand down, vertical split, square off the hip. Wrap that outer left hip down. Relax the head and neck. As your right thigh pushes back, pull your belly in away from it. Think of doing a headstand on your right big toe. Breathe in and out your nose. And then with an inhale, we'll lift that left leg a little higher. And then exhale, set your left foot next to right, forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, think flat back. And exhale, release. Now inhale, Tadasana, circle your arms up to the sky. And exhale, pull the hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Close your eyes, take a few breaths. And if you're still with me, go ahead and slowly begin to shift the weight into your left foot and just lift your right knee up in front of you, flexing the heel. Take your hands underneath your hamstring, interlacing the fingers. Now flexing the foot, push your heel down so that right knee does come straight out of your hip and you actually feel a little space created in the front of your right hip flexor. Tailbone draws down. Make sure the right hip isn't lifting up. You want to hook your right sit bone to the inner left thigh bone. Pull the belly in, knit your front ribs in. So keep that action within your right leg. Stabilize by pressing into your left big toe. Reach your arms up. Ekapada Tadasana. Ta-da! Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to twist. Right arm reaches back, left arm comes forward. So we're not using leverage here. We're using the intercostal muscles of the spine. Make sure your hips stay square and forward. They remain neutral. Now listen carefully. You're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to kick your right leg back. Bring your right hand to the mat and circle your left arm to the sky. We're going into twisting half moon. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. Flex that back heel. Square off the right hip. So generally we need to lift the tip of the right hip up away from the ground. Nice. Pull the belly in. Lengthen the spine forward. Keeping your glance to the mat. Add a micro bend to that left knee. We're going to come back to where we came from. Push into your left foot, lift your chest, reach your right arm back, left arm forward, right knee comes through. We're going to do that 20 more times. Take an inhale. Exhale, the hands cartwheel, right hand down, left arm up, right leg kicks back. Beautiful. Stabilize, don't rush it. Now a little bend in that left knee so you can push into your left foot to lift the chest. Right knee comes through, right arm reaches back, left arm forward. Beautiful. Do you have one more in you? Take an inhale. Exhale, right leg kicks back, right hand down, left arm up. Revolve and twist. Push into the left foot, lift your chest, bring the right leg through, right leg through, right arm back, left arm forward. Now keep the right leg where it is. Come to center through the torso. Reach your arms up. Kick your right leg forward. Oh no. Lift the toes a little higher. Take an inhale. Exhale, right foot down next to left. Hands to heart center. Shake it out. Release it. And then as you're ready, inhale Tadasana. Circle the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga, or don't. You can take a vinyasa or just meet us in downward dog. From downward dog, we'll lift the left leg to the sky. Exhale, pull the knee to your left arm, outer tricep or shoulder. Inhale, extend the leg back. Exhale, knee to the left. On your own, breath per movement. Follow your breath. With an inhale, we'll kick the leg up. Exhale, knee to chest, step next to the left thumb. Turn the back heel down. We lead with the right arm, warrior two, come on up. So remember, heel to heel or heel to arch is a matter of preference, but the back toes turning forward at least 10 degrees is for the protection of your body. It's to protect the groin from tearing. Inner right thigh rotates back. And your left thigh draws forward. You push the knee out to the left. You want to be able to see your big toe, maybe even second toe. Tailbone draws down. Think Tadasana in the spine. So shoulders stack over hips, ribs line up. The arms are actively going in every direction except in front of you. You can focus over your front hand, look the direction of your chest, but then close your eyes, and we just sit with our breath. And I don't want to see any Lamaze breathing. Long, slow, deep breaths in and out your nose. Calming the mind to sustain the body. And then slowly blinking your eyes open, pull your front leg straight by pushing into the left foot. Reach your left arm forward, pull the left hip back. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up, hands to 6 and 12 o'clock. So remember, you can lift the toes up to find the base of the feet, but eventually it's the front big toe and your back pinky toe. So it's the opposite within the feet. The knees are soft. Doesn't mean bend them. It just means don't push them back or even lift on the kneecaps. Think of squeezing your inner thighs closer together as you tuck your tailbone in, pull the lower belly in, knit the front ribs in. Lengthen your left side ribs away from the left hip, pulling back. Now the top arm can stay as it is. You might grab onto your right hip with your right hand, but look 12 inches in front of your left foot. Little bend of that front leg so you can step your left hand forward, lift the back foot up. So stabilize. The left hand doesn't need to be directly under the shoulder. Doesn't need to necessarily line up with your left foot, but eventually it should. Right hip and shoulder lift to the ceiling, but your inner right thigh wraps down towards the mat. And then you want to lift the inner right thigh up towards the ceiling for height. Breathe. A micro bend stays in that standing leg, so there's a little buoyancy and you're not hyperextending within your knee. Open up, create a little bit more space by pulling the front body in. Take an inhale. Exhale, just the right hand down. Vertical split, square off your right hip. Relax the head and neck. Flex your back foot. Look at the toes. They should all face straight down, or if anything, rotate slightly to your left without letting the right hip sag or the left hip crease just pinch. And then use the strength of your right glute and hamstring to lift that right leg a little more. Exhale, set your right foot down next to left. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, Tadasana. Rise all the way up. And exhale, pull the hands to heart center. And as you're ready, we'll shift the weight into the right foot. Lift the left knee up in front of you, and then interlace your hands underneath your left thigh at the knee crease. Push your heel down so the knee shoots straight out of the hip. You want to create a little bit of space, a little pocket that I could maybe put a ping pong between your left thigh and the top of your belly. Now keep that. Inhale, reach your arms up. You're going to freeze from the belly button down. Take an inhale, exhale, revolve. Left arm back, right arm forward. Twist. Stabilize by pushing heavy into the right big toe. Also finding a focal point, something that ideally doesn't move. So not your cat, not your dog. Something stable. Take an inhale. Exhale, left leg kicks back, left hand comes down, right arm circles up, twisting half moon. Back foot is flexed. You want that left heel in line with your glute. That left hip point lifts away from the ground as you hug the right hip back. Imagine I put a quarter between your butt cheeks and you squeeze it to hold it in place. Lengthen the spine out of your hips. Now micro bend into that right knee so you can push into your right foot, lift your chest, bring your left leg through, reach your left arm back, right arm forward. I know it's like child labor. You forgot this happened. Take an inhale. Exhale. Left hand down. Left leg kicks back. Right arm opens up. Take your time. Don't rush it. It's when we rush these things that we definitely fall out of them. Push into your right foot. Lift your chest. Bring your left leg through. Reach your right arm forward. Left arm back. Last one, take it in there. Exhale, cartwheel the hands as you kick your left leg back. Right arm up. Breathe. Catch your breath. Don't hold it. Last time, pressing down to lift your chest. Left leg comes through. Left arm reaches back. Right arm forward. Keep your leg. Reach your arms up as you bring your chest to center. Kick your left leg out, toes flex towards your face. Extend from your left butt cheek to your heel to lift your leg a little higher. And then exhale, set it down. Hands to heart center. Inhale, Tadasana, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or Up Dog. And exhale, downward dog. From downward dog, go ahead and drop to your knees. Cross your ankles, sit back behind your feet, and bring your legs out in front of you. So once your legs are straight out in front of you, find your sit bones, grab the cushion, aka butt cheek, pull it back, do the same thing in both sides. You're gonna keep your left leg as it is in Paschimottanasana, but I want you to bring your right leg into that Virasana shape. So you're gonna bend the knee, bring your right heel to the outer right hip. The top of your foot and shin should be down. Ideally, you're actually more on the pinky-toed edge of your foot, right? And then you wanna try and get the right knee as close to your left knee as you can. Don't sit on your right foot. If the hips aren't level, use a prop, a bolster, a pillow if you need it. So you could stay here. You might take your hands about a foot behind you, fingers point forward as you bend your elbows and just lift your chest. And then if you have it, maybe you place a block about 6 inches behind your hips, laying over it. Letting your head fall back onto another thing, something ideally a little lower than the first prop, so the cervical spine releases. Make sure the right knee stays flat on the floor. Don't want it to peel up like dry paint. Just releasing the quadricep where it connects at the patella, the top of your femur bone, and that one that crosses it to the top of your hip. Arms can stay down the sides of your body as palms face up. If you want to add upper body, you can grab opposite elbows over your head and just let the weight of your arms pull towards the mat. If you do that, just make sure you don't feel an immediate numbness. It generally means you're pinching a nerve or something, which is never a good idea. Breathe in and out your nose. And if you want to add some intensity to what's happening in the right leg, you'll bend your left leg and plant your foot on the mat. As close to the bottom as you can get it. But if that makes your right knee peel up, remember to straighten the left leg back out. Take a few more deep breaths. If your left leg is bent, go ahead and slowly straighten it out on the mat. Try to plant your hands behind your hips if you're over props. Tuck your chin into the chest and then press up into your hands to slowly lift yourself up. Lean into your left hip, bring your right leg out in front of you. Gently point and flex your right foot. You could even wiggle your right patella around, move it around. And then as you're ready, you'll bring your left leg into the same shape. Top of the foot ideally is down, the knees work their way closer together. And then maybe you just take your hands behind you about a foot, lift your chest, maybe work into bending your elbows. If you can work your way over a block, be my guest. Arms fall down the sides of your body, palms face up. If you've reached opposite elbows over your head, try to do the opposite of the cross in the arms. And just try to soften anything you don't need. If that left knee is lifted up, it generally means you're going too far back into the back bend. Remember, be very mindful, no sharp pains, tugging or tearing sensations within the knee. And if you want a little more, you might bend your right leg and plant your foot flat on the floor, as close to your bottom as you can get in. Maybe, remember, maybe you don't even go into a back bend, you just sit and allow the quadricep to release and open. Focus on your breath. And rather than breathing into all the space within the front of your body that's being opened, focus on those particular parts within your body that are still feeling a little closed off. And send your breath there. We're trying to create space where there is none. And if that right leg is bent, go ahead and slowly straighten it out. Try and slide your hands behind your hips, tuck your chin into the chest, and then push up into your hands to lift yourself up off the block. Leaning into the right side so you can lift the left knee up, bring it forward, take your time, don't rush out of that. Once the leg is straight, you'll point and flex the foot, maybe wiggle your patella around. And then bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees flop open. So Baddha Konasana. The feet, they can come in towards the groin, but if the knees are sticking way up, I'd rather actually have the feet a little further away from the groin towards the front of your mat, creating more of a diamond shape. And I want you to pull your belly to the spine, drop your forehead towards your pubic bone. Push the lower back out by pulling the belly further in, round to the shoulders. Once you can't get any more round, then you'll begin to bend the arms, work your forehead towards the feet. If they don't touch, use a block, stack them in front, behind, even on top of. But just letting your forehead rest somewhere. Arms can hang heavy in front of the legs. They can wrap over the top of them. I like to sometimes actually string the arms underneath the calf. So they're actually inside and under my legs. It allows my shoulders to relax a bit more. You can try it out, and then you can maybe even decide that you don't like it at all. It's like, as teachers, generally we work off of, yes, the knowledge that we have, alignment that has been taught and passed on to us, but also based on what feels right within our body. And each and every teacher should have the understanding and knowledge that everybody's body is different. So offering suggestions and multiple choices, knowing that no two bodies are the same. I like to give multiple options so you can really figure out what feels right within your own body. So pulling the belly in. On an exhale, you're just going to begin to roll your spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae, letting the arms slowly walk up. Neck and head will be last to come, stacking over the shoulders. And then you're just going to take your right hand underneath the right knee, lift it up, but step your right foot out to the outer edge of your mat, beyond it. Foot is flat on the floor, and then lift your left knee up with your left hand. Step the foot out, right? So you're going to be in kind of like a crabby squat. Toes turn out, knees point the same direction as the toes. So you can stay here and just work on getting the knees to open away from your rib cage, lifting to the lower back. If you want to add that fold again, you'll round your forehead towards your pubic bone and work your way in between the thighs. Stacking blocks if you need them for the forehead. And then if you want to go into Kormasana, or the turtle pose, you can hook your arms underneath both legs, like you're trying to put your legs on like a backpack. Your right arm will reach to the back right corner. Your left arm will reach to the back left corner. And then you'll slowly flex the feet and try and slide your heels out and away from you. Be very aware of the pressure you put in the elbows. You don't want to hyperextend them, so don't go any further than your arms can handle. And then once you've situated yourself, try to soften even the toes. Imagine the heels pressing down and almost drawing back, so you're not dumping the weight into the elbow. So wherever you find yourself in this pose, we'll only be in this one for about 2 minutes, just because it tends to be a bit more intense. Notice where the body is resisting, whether it's muscles tightening, twitching, right? How is the mind reacting? Can you steady it by just focusing on your breath? Last 30 seconds. So if you're in the more Kormasana style, you're going to press into your heels, flex your feet again, and begin to almost drag your heels towards your hands to begin to roll your spine up. And then you can release your arms. Take them both to the right leg, underneath the thigh, lift it up and bring it forward. And then do the same thing to the left side. Scoot the bottom forward, get any props you need or want for Savasana, and then we'll meet laying on our backs. However you need or want to take it. Whether the legs are long and arms fall out. Maybe the hands rest on your hips, or one on your belly, one on your torso. Or close your eyes. Allow the feet to flop open, the shins and knees will follow. Fingertips begin to curl, you relax the jaw and let the tongue melt back towards the throat. Close your eyes, unfurl the eyebrows. Give yourself permission to let go. By simply reminding yourself it's okay to do so. So detachment and renunciation are something that you hear thrown around the yoga room all the time. But detachment or renunciation, it comes from a place of surrender. There's that saying, we may not always get what we want, but we always get what we need. And so that ultimate surrender or understanding that our lives, they're not in our control. But what we do have the choice of is the here and now, the actions we take, the moves we make. But we need to try to detach ourselves from the end result. Sitting in that surrender, knowing that ultimately what comes in the end may not be what we want, but it's always exactly what we need. Teaching us, allowing us to grow, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And detachment, just like everything else in yoga, is a practice. So maybe just taking the next few moments to meditate on that word, surrender. Letting go of control. And I offer you the opportunity to stay in Savasana for however long you like. But if you have to get up and continue your day, maybe take that word with you and work with it beyond the rubber mat. But whatever you choose to do, until next time, namaste.